In this video, I will be discussing the stereotype of the dumb blonde. The dumb blonde may be less worldly wise, or she may have decided to skate through life on her looks. But actually, deep down, they are often mistaken characters with only good intentions and more to them than just looks. The most common juxtaposition with the dumb blonde is the dark-haired friend, who is always considered to be smarter and more rational one, leaving intellectual pursuits to this counterpart because she does not want to spend the effort to cultivate her mind. It may even be a deliberately cultivated act to appear in the need of help before men. You can often even find the dumb blonde surrounded by men, just waiting for their moment to be the hero. Whatever the reason, the stereotype tends to be the scatterbrained and lacking in common sense. The dumb blonde stereotype is often mistaken to be a very flat character. Still, a thing that a lot of people undermine is that the dumb blonde character tends to often be an even more round character instead, because they slowly start to reveal the many layers to them while the story evolves. In this clip from The Vampire Diaries, we can see actually a very clear power dynamic shift between the dumb blonde stereotype and this other character when the dumb blonde reveals some more layers to her character. Through actor movement and positioning, the dumb blonde stereotype is usually situated in the middle of the action or otherwise interrupting a certain moment.
Hi, is Rachel here? I'm her sister. Oh my God, Jill! Oh my God, Rachel!
It is usually stereotyped that the blonde either has lured the people around them to almost kind of surround them, or people usually just tend to hover around them, making them usually switch directions and spin around a lot. This often makes them seem out of place and confused. You can also often notice this from the look or gaze that the dumb blonde stereotype typically has. Their eyes tend to be big and sort of staring into a wall to portray their lack of intellect in certain situations. Usually, the dumb blonde stereotype divides into the simple-minded, light-headed, and innocent characteristics that these characters often have. This is often portrayed to the viewer with different camera angles. They usually portray the dumb blonde stereotype in a tilted, lower down angle, as if you would be always looking down on them.
So we can see that MA equals MG, and what do we know from this?
In Scum, we can see this clearly with Vilda's character, who has a big smile and very open eyes and a confused look on her face. And she's often portrayed in this lower angle, so she's always being looked upon. We can also, through performance, see that they often have this big smile and laugh in hard situations. Another resemblance, often visible, is the sat-down composition, where the other person is either sitting down or standing up, creating this cinematic power structure between them. When the dumb blonde appears in the frame, the camera often shows a lot of reactions from the other characters around them. And you can often notice the others surrounding the dumb blonde to make little comments in between lines.
Brittany, you're supposed to be in your wheelchair. So nice to...
Also, through costume design, the dumb blonde is usually a very much of a textbook version of a Barbie doll. They often have well-fitted clothes and a pop of color to make them stand out, and of course, the blonde hair, dyed or natural. Of course, there is always the cheerleader aspect to the dumb blonde stereotype. A take on the usual performance of a stereotyped dumb blonde is that the blonde hair color is not always the main trait of this character, but it is the character that they are and how they present themselves on camera. For example, Charlotte from Sex and the City is a perfect example of a brunette, dumb blonde stereotype with her naive and often narrow mindset.